For this episode, it is my pleasure to be joined by CRM expert Uzair Hamid. With over 10 years of experience in CRM and marketing automation, Uzair has expertise in developing lifecycle strategies for B2B and B2C products, managing large budgets and generating return on marketing investment against multi-million-dollar spending. Welcome to the show, Uzair.
Thanks, Lauren, and happy to be here and happy to meet you again.
Yes, lovely to see you again. For those of you listening to the podcast, Uzair and I were actually on a panel a couple of weeks back talking about the opportunities in the Middle East and talking about the different areas of expansion for different partners of ours. So it was a really interesting conversation, and I'm really excited to take it to a different spin today and talk about you, your background, your expertise, and all that you have to share about CRM and marketing automation, because I know you have tons and tons of experience. So really excited about that. And maybe just to kick it off, what is it that interests you about the world of CRM? Like, how'd you get involved in the whole thing? How'd you get started?
First of all, thank you for inviting me again. And yeah, I guess I still remember that conversation around MENA region and all those things. I guess that was one of the best sessions that I had. Talking about my interest in CRM, I guess it goes back to my start of the career. So by education, I've done I'm actually a finance and economics guy. So It does not relate why I'm sitting in marketing over there. So initially I wanted to be a data analyst and work towards a data scientist. That was my initial career path. But when I started looking over there, I guess it turned out to be very different thing. I used to do analysis for marketing team, for sales team, doing conversion analysis, funnel analysis, doing some prediction modeling over there. So, and then my work just used to stop over there. And then I was like, okay, why don't we do the same thing? Okay, why just advise them, but actually just you roll out those things and roll out those experiments, see what really happens after those analysis. So I guess that was sort of a thing that got my attention in CRM, that it's just not data, it's some actionable data. Okay. So when you have some data analysis over there, it's actionable. And if you go and do some, I would say, implementation around it, some optimization around it, that can eventually help you build some meaningful connections with your customers over there. So I guess the data turning into insights and then turning into eventually some very meaningful connections. That's what is something that fascinates me about CRM.
That's awesome. I love that. And so obviously now you're running your own, or you just started your own retention consultancy. So maybe how did you decide to start that? And maybe tell us a little bit more about what you do in your consultancy.
Yeah, sure. So I guess that was one of my part of career planning. I definitely somewhere few years back, I had this plan that once I'm done with my 10 years of experience, I will be stepping out and doing something of my own just to test myself.
Awesome.
Okay. So I guess that was, I wouldn't really say that it was unplanned. It was planned, but I guess the circumstances and situations were I had to do it anyway. So that timing was perfect over there. So that was one of the reasons why why I really went over there. But obviously when I'm in this business, I saw that there was an opportunity. So specifically, if you talk about this MENA region, it's a relatively new region. People started spending in 2012, 2013. You had a lot of user base now. COVID came in. There was I would say, cannibalization. People started moving from offline to online sales. So now companies have sufficient amount of data and they want to monetize on that. So, but if you go out in the market, you will find people who are willing to consult you on performance marketing, on paid marketing, on SEO and organic marketing, but you will not find companies that are really good in CRM and retention strategies. They are definitely some enterprise level companies that are mostly catering, I would say, technical part of that. They just help you out in technically implementing a CRM tool. Okay. But there is no one over there who can hold your hand and say, okay, this is how we need to build journeys. This is how we need to select a tool. This is how we need to optimize customer journeys over there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you build your retention?
Sorry to interrupt you, but why do you think that is? I'm curious to know, if they built up the data and they started, I guess, building that implementation, how come nobody was doing that before you came in?
So that's because of the way the company is structured. Okay. Those companies are actually structured around technical users, not business or functional users. So I'm coming from that business background. So I know how things technically work, but how to use them as well. So that is why I would say that was sort of, I would say, a limitation for these companies, that they only had skill set to implement a tool, but no functional user or business user who can actually say that how to monetize on that data.
Yeah. Which makes it a whole different use case, a whole different understanding of the retention aspect of things as well. So obviously a perfect niche and gap for you to come in and say, got
Exactly.
it solved. Don't worry about it.
Yep. And I guess like it's not just me. I would actually advise others as well. Maybe I guess like it's time for taking leap of faith. And the market is big enough for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what do you love most about your role, if you could choose?
Number one, obviously freedom, for sure. I don't want to sound rude, but I don't need to take someone's permission before I want to house, before I want to take a holiday or whatever it is. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's my work. I work 24/7. There is no timing, nothing over there. Although I'm trying to put some discipline in my life, spend some time with my family and everything, but I guess like the freedom is the first reason that I really love about my role over there. Number two, now I'm not tied to any industry for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I can work for multiple industries at the same time, and it's not dull, it's not boring. Okay. Third thing that I would say is around the networking opportunities. Since you're working in multiple industries, multiple companies, you're traveling, so you meet new people, you get new ideas, what's happening here and there. So that's another thing. Fourth thing I would say, I've been running my own team, let's say the CRM team per se. But right now it's like you have to do everything on your own. You're into finance, you're into HR, you're into admin. So you're into right now. I'm just studying taxation a lot. In UAE, like the corporate tax and VAT and everything. So I guess like that's also very important to build like a complete profile for you, not just into one field, but you're venturing out in multiple departments as well. And I guess like one last thing that I would say that I really love about it is like I'm now getting a chance to train the next generation of CRM people. So since I'm working with multiple companies, multiple industries, most of them are very young people who are just entering into the career. So now I'm getting a chance to train more people, not just 2 or 3 people or 5 people previously.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also having that long lasting impact is something that goes further than just working a job, and it's something that you can really be passionate about and really be excited about. So I definitely agree with that whole mission there. But speaking on the topic of CRM and just doing that at scale and kind of doing this in a different approach as you are with your consultancy, how do you think, or how big of a role do you think CRM plays in the world of marketing? Like, what does that mean to you, and how does that position in your mind, do you think?
Okay, sure. So, every business out there in the market, it's for profit. Okay, that's the bottom line. Okay? No business wants to operate without having any profit over there. Okay, and now CRM is one of those things that affects your bottom line. It affects how profitable you are. It affects everything around there. Okay, and that really matters eventually. Having said that, I think one more thing that people really need to understand: yes, CRM is no more, I would say, tied to a system. It's an approach. Okay. In the last 20-25 years, CRM has evolved a lot. Okay. So just seeing that, sending out an email within a marketing, the CRM, no, that's I would say that's insufficient now. You have multiple tools now. Ecosystem is developed. It is mature. So it's an approach. And how do you want to fit different pieces into a puzzle? Okay, that is what CRM is. Like you can have strategy around it. You need 5 tools for that. You bring them together and make something function over it. And the ultimate objective is what? Ultimate objective is to affect that bottom line so that companies become profitable and they remain profitable in the long run. It's about sustainability as well. So you just don't want to be profitable, but you want to make sure that there is a certain recurring revenue that is coming every year within a company. Over here, you will not continue to spend every time on performance channels or any other thing. You need some sort of suitable, sustainable strategies that actually comes through CRM.
Yeah. And I think it's so important that you put it that way of sustainable, scalable, in a way that's not just a system that you plug and play and just set and forget. I think it's very much, like you said, it's an approach. It's a human-centered approach where you actually have to think things through and strategize and iterate as you go. And one of my favorite things about this podcast actually is, since retention and CRM and marketing automation and this and that, all these wonderful words, there's so many different perspectives and approaches to these things, because your perspective is all based on your experience and others have completely different experiences. But one of my favorite things is understanding your view on how to build a really great relationship management approach for people, or how you go about doing this. And so I know that you have the mentality where it's saying there is habit formation before loyalty. And that's a process in your mind that you think is a great way to achieve customer retention. But tell me more about what habit formation means, because obviously there's all these different ways to talk about customer retention and have a proper CRM approach. But maybe talk a little bit more about that so we can dig into the whole world of loyalty and building that customer base that is loyal, always coming back, speaking about the brand, becoming ambassadors, and the evergreen revenue that you would see from a happy, loyal customer base?
Yeah, sure. So I guess I would say that I want to differentiate between habit formation and loyalty. Okay.
Yeah.
Loyalty is an end. It's not a means. Okay.
Fair.
People usually try to use loyalty as a means to drive retention, and then they say, "Yeah, I'm doing loyalty plan to build loyalty," which doesn't make sense. Okay, you have to do something to deliver something. Okay, it's like you do X and then you deliver Y. It's not that you do X and then you deliver X. So for me, these are both different things, and that is why I personally think that I've been practicing this as well. Loyalty is something where you actually start rewarding someone. Okay, if you're a loyal customer, yes, these are the benefits that you will get. Okay, but there are some prerequisites over there where you need to help the person to reach that level. Okay,
Right.
and over there I really talk about this habit formation. Okay, if you're not forming any habit for a customer, okay, now what is habit? Okay, habit is something that's like if you've developed a routine or a pattern in activities over there. Okay. If you don't know what is a habit within my product or within my service offering or whatever product or service you're offering over there, how would you actually say that, okay, if I continuously focus on this habit formation thing, it will ultimately lead to loyalty. People push a lot towards loyalty and they miss the middle part. So acquire people and they say, no, let's make them loyal. How many of them are loyal customers? No, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay. You acquire people, you need to activate them. You need to make sure that they're building the habit over there. They need to come back and use your product. Okay. Now, every sales is not a habit. There could be other actions as well that can help you build a habit over there. Okay. First of all, they need to start becoming used to of you. If they're used to of you, then you can say, now it's time to start rewarding them through my loyalty program over there. So I guess it's all about coming up and identifying those patterns that a customer follows in building a habit, and mostly they are triggered by some sort of a situation or any event or anything like that.
Yeah. And I honestly, I really like that because I think for business owners, it's hard to think about all these different things that are on their plate, from acquisition to retention to this to that. And so sometimes thinking about loyalty and getting customers from acquisition to loyalty can be hard. It can be abstract. But one thing that I really like about what you said is that actually makes it very simple to figure out. Meaning, if you can find the habit that they're forming or the habit that you want them to form, it's actually not so hard. And you can be able to find that next immediate thing that you want to be doing to encourage a specific habit. For example, like even with our Gameball clients, we really talk about, if you're rewarding them with all these discounts and badges and things like that, it's not about that. It's about the actual experience and what's coming out of that for them, and what keeps you top of mind when they think of, I don't know, when they're buying their next gift for someone or they're renewing their subscription for something or whatever it may be. And something that I always talk about with my clients, like time and time again, I sound like a broken record at this point, is the idea of customer journey mapping. Because the thing is, you have to understand what are they doing along the journey from before they buy, when they buy, right after they buy, when they buy again and again and again until they churn. So I'm sure this plays a part in your whole idea of habit formation and getting to that loyalty. So what are your recommendations from the consultant point of view of how businesses can use the customer journey mapping idea to create those really unique experiences? Because I'm sure it's not one size fits all for everybody, but what do you think are the key factors of mapping a customer journey? And maybe even like, how would you go about doing something like that to make sure you're creating that really personalized experience and you're finding that habit formation?
Yep. Okay. I guess I'll answer this question with an example. I'll not name the company, but I worked for one of the big companies over here, and they had an e-commerce platform where we used to sell products for kids, moms. Okay. So the thing is that when I dig into the customer journeys, okay, for me, one very important point came up to be page views. So if you look at a typical e-commerce funnel, so you land on the home page, and then probably you go to any category page, then you go to any product description page with products are listed and with the details over there. And then you eventually go to checkout over there, all of these things. Okay. What I saw was that people who had, 15 page views within a week, they had a higher tendency to purchase.
Okay.
Versus people who had a lower pages. Okay. So in traditional view, what you'll just do you'll just focus on bringing the people and then, okay, why are they not converting? Why are they not converting? But technically it does not make sense because they will not convert in the same sessions or by just looking at 2 pages. Okay. My data says that within a customer journey, they need to see at least 15 pages. And by 15 pages, I mean to say product pages over there. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if I know that in order for this person to make a purchase again and again, they need to see the pages 15 times. Now that triggers multiple action items that I need to take. Number one, how is my abandoned emails working, abandoned campaigns working? Okay, because if they're missing over there, I need to bring them back and they need to do another page view. Okay, how is my personalization working on the website? Let's say like if you're browsing a certain shirt, you can have other personalization tool. Let's say like similar products, or people who buy this will also buy this, or frequently bought together. Okay, or let's say like if someone is buying a blue shirt, so maybe you can say let's say like, okay, with this blue shirt, maybe this black shoe can go, or this white pen can go, and all of these things. Okay, the idea is that once you know what the funnel is like, okay, and how many times a person needs to come, okay, then all your actions should come together and make sure that a person does that activity. All of these actions will result in a transaction eventually. So rather than just being pushy and telling the customer to buy, that will not work. Okay. Okay. You know that the data is in front of you. Okay. They might need to visit at least 15 pages before they make a purchase. So why are you just sending them a communication that says, why don't you buy now? Why don't you buy now? Here is a 15% or here is a 10% off. The easiest way is that just try to increase their time spending on the website, show them products that are relevant for them, make it more personalized, and then they just keep on browsing over there. The more they browse on your website, higher the probability that they will eventually start adding things in the cart and they will eventually buy. Okay. And now, if this experience is good, eventually this will lead towards habit formation, because they'll be like, yeah, whenever I go on the website, it's so easy. I select one product and then they tell me what else should I buy. Mm-hmm. Okay. So every time you build around that. Okay. Over here, let's say like if I just after first purchase, if I just drop them an email and say, okay, like now you are a basic member. Now you need to make 5 more purchases in order to become a silver customer, or 10 more purchases to become a gold customer. No, that will not work, because that is ultimately an end. Okay. It's the result. It's not means. Okay. The means is something else. It's about habit formation around that. Rather, your next communication should be around, it's like, okay, why should you come back? Which pages should you visit? And what are the other top products? What your bought over here are some other recommendations that we can do. Over there, maybe let's like, you can add maybe loyalty could be a top factor. Let's say like something that can work on top of that. Could be cherry in the top. Could be icing on the cake. That let's say if you buy now, or if you visit these pages, so probably let's say like you'll get double points, or you'll get some extra bonuses, or let's say like you might get some free shipping. But the core is something else. Okay, you need to understand what actually brings them back on your platform, creates that stickiness, and eventually they convert over there.
And it's almost like a huge study in human behavior at that point, because even as you were saying that example, it's not just a transactional experience on e-commerce sites these days. It's very much about the site experience and what kind of experience you're having from start to finish. And even like talking to people on the team, or the pre-purchase, the post-purchase, all those aspects are so important. Because even the other day, I was shopping for a dress and matching shoes, and I just had no idea. And I didn't feel like searching 100 different sites for these things. I wasn't actually caring enough to go shopping. I just wanted to find the right dress, find the right shoes, and be done with it. But the sites that recommended me, like, finish off the outfit with this pair of shoes or this, that, whatever, that was the site I bought from, because it just gave me the recommendations. I didn't have to worry about it. I really enjoyed the experience, because I honestly did not have the time to think about what shoe I wanted to buy with this dress, but I knew I had to buy this outfit. And so I really enjoyed the whole experience. And when I bought the whole outfit after that, they had encouraging things of share this on Instagram, which even though I wouldn't do it because I don't actually like doing that, I like the idea of it. And I like that they were encouraging showing off the outfit, or here are some accessories that you could think about with it, or here's how you could wear it 7 different ways. I love that kind of stuff. So you're so right. It's about forming that habit. And for me as a consumer who doesn't like to spend too much time shopping for dresses and shoes and whatnot, I will likely go back to that store just alone because they gave me good options for things that I bought together or whatever it may be. So I'm a prime example of forming a good habit. That's the thing.
Very good.
As an example of that brand.
Very good.
Which is awesome. And so I'm curious to know that when you work with companies like this and you're helping them do this mapping, do this habit formation, and trying to figure out where exactly they're trying to get their customer to go, how do you measure the success of that? Because I think some of the general success metrics are things like obviously customer base, revenue growth, month over month subscriptions. But I feel like there's more unique niche factors that you should really be looking at before you get to the big goals. So I'm curious to know your opinion. How do you measure the success of this habit formation and things like that?
Yes, that's correct. Like I would actually think of metrics that are beyond transactional in nature or revenue in nature. Okay. So the very first of them is your increase in power users. Okay. So we define power users as someone who are the core users of the platform. Maybe they are doing, let's say, like multiple sessions every day. I would say, let's just take an example of Facebook. Probably all of us are power users, most of us. Okay. Or maybe like the definition of power user would be very different. Okay. Maybe their definition would be like anyone who's browsing on Facebook for more than 3 hours a day. For them, they would be, maybe I'm just browsing 1 hour a day. I'm not a power user. Okay. But eventually, if you have these people who have formed the habit of coming back to your platform, they're comfortable with your platform, they're browsing over there, they like the experience, they know that whatever product they'll be, you have the best prices, they're getting rewards that they really want to get, all of these things. Okay. So obviously your power users will grow. Okay. Now power users, they might not purchase today, but they will purchase eventually. Okay. You're pretty sure that they have a higher propensity to purchase over there. So that's one thing. Okay. Number two is the, I would say, share between reselected users and dormant users. Okay. So eventually, so dormant users are someone like who have been inactive on your platform, and reselected users are those who are inactive, but they are not active. Okay. So you'll see a shift in these percentages. So with this passage of time, your dormant users will start going down because either they'll become active users or they will become restricted users. And similarly, the share of reselected users, they will it will go up because like they don't want to remain inactive anymore. They like coming back to your website. They like coming back and buying from you. So that will also increase. So that's another way of looking at it. Third is like very traditional sort of way, like RFM metrics that we create, and then we have buckets within each of them. Was obviously there should be a shift in these shells. Okay, and then obviously ultimately everyone should move towards your loyalty segment.
Right.
Okay, because like your recency will be better, your frequency will improve, and your monetary value will also improve. So that's something that they need to converge towards loyalty segment over there. And then the last thing is, I think if you're really habitual of something and you're a power user, these people also bring some quality referrals.
Absolutely.
Okay. If they really like you, they're fond of you, they come back, they buy from you, they like loyalty plan, whatever it is, they will start recommending, and they'll be, I would say, the advocates of your brand. So your NPS should improve from these people, and I would say your virality coefficient that you use to measure referral campaigns, that should improve as well. So you'll have more and more signups coming from referrals and not just direct signups or organic signups.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more, because even for myself as a consumer, I think I buy more products as a result of hearing from my friends or someone as a referral, just to make sure that there's credibility in what I'm buying, because you are seeing tons of different products being thrown at you day in, day out, especially through Instagram, especially through TikTok, whatever these platforms might be. But I would say more often than not, when I'm buying a new product, it's because of a referral from a friend or a colleague or something like that, because the power of word of mouth is quite literally insane. It goes so far. And so I definitely agree with that. And I'm also curious to know, so obviously with your background as a data analyst, you seem to really like data and all the different data points and understanding how to work with that. Is there certain technologies or certain innovations that have really helped you in enhancing customer journeys for your customers, or things that you're excited about when you're trying to work with your clients on enhancing the customer journey?
Yep, sure. So I guess like, I think like over the last 10 years, at least for myself, I'll just talk about myself because I just have 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
Others might have more, so they might be able to tell you better. But as for my experience, I would say I've seen this drastic shift in, there was a time, let's say like when I could just send an email from one system, and in order to send a push notification, I had to go to another system, and then what they were doing on the website or on the app, it was always about switching to a different portal or to a different website. Okay. But I think one thing that has really happened in the last few years is that like now we have 360-degree customer view.
Yep.
So within one platform, we can see what people are doing, whether they are doing it on app, on web. You now have tools that can actually help you out in maybe stitching their offline journeys as well.
Yep.
So that's one change that I've seen. Okay. The second thing that I've seen that has changed a lot is the data volume and data velocity. So it's not just about very large amount of data sets, but it's also about the speed at which the data is coming. Okay. For example, let's say like data velocity is very important, let's say, for fintech. Okay. Because prices changes every second. Okay. So you cannot wait for a price to reflect in 10 minutes. And then when you go and check the price of a stock, that would be very different over there.
Exactly.
Okay. So you need people, if someone wants to buy something, they want to see it immediately. Okay. They want to purchase immediately over there. That's why I guess like most of the tools are actually working on making sure that the data velocity is not compromised if data volume increases over there. That's another thing. The third thing is around the integrations and the ecosystem that it has been built. Traditionally, it was just a couple of tools that were big and they had their own app marketplaces. But I think like it's now a level playing field for everyone. Okay, every tool is mature enough. They do have integrations available. So I really like one of my friend always says to me like for every work there is a tool, and for every tool there probably is a free version of that.
Yeah.
So don't do anything manually. Don't do anything on your own. Okay, technology is definitely out there. You can always use technology, and you'll always find a free version of that technology, even in case you want to test it. So that's one thing. I guess like that's one of the that's just takes your that just makes you relax. Okay, because of this ecosystem. And I guess like the last thing that I would say is that I think people are now shifting from more like tech centric towards customer centric. And I guess like that's one of the examples that I give you when we started this podcast. Okay, the reason why I started my own company is that there is a gap in the market. Okay, people were just implementing CRM, but now you have people who are actually telling you how to deal with your customers,
right?
How to retain them, how to build relationships over there. I guess like there is also a shift in not just develop product that is technologically advanced, but also develop product that is like that makes sense for the customer as well.
And it's moving at such a rapid pace that literally, like you said, any kind of workflow or any kind of thing that you're trying to do can be automated. So really, it does allow you to focus on the creative side of things to create a product or a service or an approach that is really focused on the person, so you can not have to worry about literally anything else, which is a really powerful thing if you think about it, and can leverage so many new ideas, so many new innovations in the space.
For sure.
I really like that a lot. And I want to basically tie this all together with all the insights you had about the space and habit formation and customer retention and the different technology and innovation. I want to tie it all together by knowing examples of what you think are the most inventive examples or strategies that are done in retention, because I'm sure you've seen quite a few as a result of your experiences.
Okay. Along with examples. Okay. I think that I was using Duolingo for a while. Which is an app where you can go and start learning different languages.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way they have structured the app and they have gamified it. It's very good. It's a very good experience. Okay, and the communication that I get from them, that's awesome. The one feature that I really love about them is their speaking feature. I guess like probably they've borrowed it from Snapchat. I don't use Snapchat as such, but it's like people. So they just took that concept. Okay, like it's not just about sharing your personal selfies as snaps, but you can also share. You can build streaks around your learning journey as well. So you say, okay, like it's my 100th day of learning French. It's my 250th day of learning Arabic. It's my 500th day of learning Spanish. And like these are continuous. So you can create those streaks and everything over there. So so that's a way. It's like you're building some habit around it. Okay. And then these are the power users. And then they're sharing in your network.
Yep.
Which ultimately attracts quality signers back to your platform. So I really like that. That's one thing. Then I would say another example that I would like to give is Zomato app, which is actually a food delivery app. I just love their emails.
Yep.
Okay. They are, I would say, non-intrusive. Okay. They don't bug me. They don't spam me.
Yeah.
But whenever they send an email, I can't resist to open them. It's so good.
That's awesome. I've never seen someone so passionate about email marketing.
Yeah, but
like on the consumer side.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll check some maybe and I'll just forward it to you, but you definitely need to see
Yeah, please send me this. I'm curious now.
Yeah. And then I guess like one last thing could be let's like retention and loyalty might be changing because of Web3 space. Right now we are in Web 2 era, okay, which started back in early 2000 or let's say late 90s, early 2000, okay, and now we're like 20 years down the lane. We have come from a journey where we used to have static website. Now we have dynamic websites. We have payment gateways. We have mobile app. We have strong social media. I don't know what not. So we have achieved so much in Web 2.0, and now we are in the initial phase of Web 3. So I think like it's too early to say, but definitely the way you retain your customers, the way you incentivize them, the way you build loyalty plans for these people would definitely change in Web 3 space as well.
I love that. And all extremely different examples, which is also very cool. I can think of the habits that are forming in each and every one of those, and mainly the Duolingo one, because I also use Duolingo. And I I will say I fell off using Duolingo. However, I did have a good daily streak going for a little bit of time. But maybe the habit formation did not work ideally on myself. But
Yeah.
maybe it's time to pick it back up.
Yeah. Maybe they need to do a research on you.
They might, yes. Because I also was trying to learn Hindi, which is a very tough language to learn on Duolingo. So
Okay.
I remember when I was learning Spanish on Duolingo, it was actually a lot easier. So I think it's also my personal effort put in. But I do really agree with you on the fact that their messaging and their encouragement and support of this kind of like e-learning is really well done. Because if I'm ever going to pick it back up or learn another language, that's probably one of the first places I'll go. It's just I need to do it. But that's really awesome. And I really like the use of examples because all those different brands, I'm sure one of those brands that, or even just in the Web3 space or people who are experienced with crypto now and kind of worked in the space, they all can relate to those examples. Because I think what's important and really well done here is the fact that everyone listening to the podcast likes the actionable examples. They like the really good analogies or ways to understand how to implement that. And that's really the goal of our podcast. So thank you also for sharing that. That was really helpful. So
You're welcome.
I will bring it to a close now, but before I bring it to a close, I always do lightning round questions. And the lightning round questions are a set of 3 questions where we just learn fun things about you. And we ask some random brain teaser questions so that we can learn more about you as a person and your experiences as well. So 3 quick questions, then we'll end on an answer of like life or marketing advice and we'll be on our way. So first question of the lightning round is, if you could be in charge of the marketing for a company for 1 week, which company would you choose and why is that?
Crypto anytime. I would go back to fintech.
Any crypto company, you're saying?
Any crypto company, yeah. Because like it's very difficult to retain people over there. There is information asymmetry. So everyone, like if you go on a product page in e-commerce, so there is no information asymmetry, okay? Because you've mentioned everything over there, what the product is like.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the size, this is the color, this is the variant, and this is the price. Yeah. But when you talk about fintech and specifically crypto, okay, not everyone has the same information. Okay. I might have more information about some changes that might happen in government 1 hour from now versus someone who might even not know anything over there. And I know that, yeah, if I buy or sell now, that can be. So over there, like it's very complicated. That's one thing. And then the second thing is like it's over there in that industry, regulation and compliance comes first. Okay. A lot of your creativity is constrained by what you can actually do. Let's say like, you cannot say someone buy crypto or sell crypto because that comes under market advice.
Yes.
So if you do that, you'll penalize. So you just need to come up with certain ways that say, okay, like I need to make them trade more, but I can't have transactional keywords or actions that can say buy or sell because that's going to be also, it's very different. So I would like to go back in crypto or fintech.
I love that.
Even for a day.
It sounds like your just creative juices are flowing in that moment. So I do love that. Okay. Second question is, what 3 skills from marketing should be transferred into people's everyday lives?
Okay. The first thing is that we should start communicating more. Okay.
I love that.
That's one thing. So if you communicate more, that takes me to the second thing. You start understanding people and their needs. That's a second skill that definitely need to have. And then obviously, once you understand their needs, there is an empathy over there. So you start growing your connections naturally. So I guess like communication, understanding needs, and growing your network are the 3 skills I think that should be there.
That's awesome. I also like that approach because it's very much understanding other people before being understood. And it's very much a nice human-centered approach to things. So definitely agree with you there. And last but not least, if you could go into any other industry or profession, doesn't matter if you don't actually know how to do it, what would you like to try your hand at?
Can I have 2 names, not just one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I guess like in my school life, I wanted to study aerodynamics, which is like how objects cut through the air. So that's like, let's like if you're constructing a building, okay, so you need to see how will it get through the air. If you're building even bridges or flyovers, anything like that, there is a study behind it, how it gets. So I would like to be a car designer. That's something that I wanted to be. So, and I wanted to study aerodynamics. The second thing, I think I can think about going towards sustainability, carbon footprint. So it's a very different field, but yeah, I guess like these 2 things.
Maybe you can combine the 2 somehow and just have a crazy startup.
Yeah, maybe a car that is powered by some sort of Web3 technology and then it's sustainable.
There we go. Now we're thinking. I'm thinking Harry Potter style when they have the flying car that goes to Hogwarts. And that's the way to go.
Maybe. Let's see.
Awesome. Okay. And last but not least, which is my favorite thing, is to end on a piece of advice. So is there a piece of marketing or life or both advice that someone shared with you once that has always stayed with you?
Yeah. I think there was one advice shared with me 6 years back. That was in my very first company over here in Dubai, in UAE, when I was working for Sierra Group. And a guy over there, Mark, his name is Mark Jittin, and he was the senior product manager. So I was on sitting with him, planning everything. And there were some issues and problems over there that we had to sort out related to roadmap and all these things. And then he told me always be a part of solution and never the problem. And I've stayed with this advice forever. So obviously, you'll encounter problems throughout your life, okay? But you don't just look at the problem side of it. Always be on the part of solving that problem, not creating it more. So yeah, I always stick to the solution, never to the problem.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. And always a nice reminder. So this is also why I love ending it on a piece of advice, because everyone always has just absolute insights to share. But thank you so much again, Uzair, for joining us on the call today. It was lovely to have you. And I'm sure people will be very intrigued by all that you had to share with us today. So thank you so much for joining us. It was lovely to have you.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for inviting me and for the Retain podcast as well. I hope so. It would be an interesting session for the others as well. And
absolutely.
Maybe let's talk again, maybe on another podcast.
Yeah, sounds good. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You as well.